There are so many people on social media who feel comfortable with the idea of canceling others simply because they don't like their opinions, and that is exactly what is going on right now because of the Acolyte, simply because people like Nerdrotic, Jeremy Griggs, and of course Ryan Kinnell simply talked about the Acolyte because they didn't like it. There is now a group of people who have organized to have these YouTubers canceled. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, it is absolutely disgusting that there are so many people online who feel comfortable with trying to cancel others and silence critics of something as simple as a TV show, and that is what's happening. This is a That Park Place article. It says viewpoints aren't always the same from individual to individual, from community to community, and from nation to nation. Expression of those viewpoints, however, is vital to the understanding of individuals, not to mention the ability to navigate disagreements in a civilized, tolerable fashion. One area where there seems to be a tremendous agreement, however, is that The Acolyte, a TV series on Disney Plus created by Lucasfilms, was not a very great experience for viewers. There are hundreds of thousands to millions of people who believe that this show is awful, and it is. In my opinion, it is a pile of trash. They should have never made it. They wasted $180 million freaking dollars on something that people didn't watch, and it got canceled because it was so bad. Nobody asked for a season 2, but there are some people online who just want to prove the chuds wrong, as they say. They simply want to fight against people with opinions they don't like. So they're saying, oh, we should get an Acolyte season 2. They're starting petitions, and I think that's fine. If you really like this show, the few people that are out there, you're allowed to start petitions. You're allowed to ask Disney to continue it, but Disney canceled it for a reason. They're clearly not going to bring it back. And now, instead of just allowing people to say this show is trash, even though there are millions of other individuals that have that same opinion, there is a group online who has now started a targeted harassment campaign to get these YouTubers off of the platform, to get their channels demonetized and to try to silence them. The claim is that folks didn't watch the show because of, quote, hatred, not because of poor writing, acting, or anything else. Instead, disliking the show is now synonymous with the worst of society. It's then easy to see how such an environment can breed a new, seemingly organized effort to demonetize and strike down prominent voices who failed to review the Acolyte well. And of course, now we have posts online being circulated like this. Dear Team YouTube, last week, actor Amanda Stenberg, she/they, posted candid comments to Instagram about the rampage of bigotry and vitriol that she received since leading the cast of The Acolyte. And then it goes into who they want targeted. Enough is enough. The Star Wars fandom demands that YouTube enforce its community guidelines against prolonged insults and incitement of targeted harassment towards women of color by demonetizing YouTube channels Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Kinnell RK Outpost, and Nerdrotic. All these channels have done is plain and simply voiced their opinions. People should not be demonetized and silenced for having an opinion. You have one, I have one, everybody's got one. Yes, sometimes they don't align, but it's not like they're telling people to go to her social media, to send her death threats or harassment. All they are doing is voicing their opinion over the fact that The Acolyte's awful because you have actresses like Amanda Stenberg who are terrible at their jobs and really are only actors because their dads have money. That isn't a good element of the show. You've got the writing, which changes around the canon, completely disregards what Star Wars really is at its heart and soul, and they decided to go in this new modern direction. You have awful sets. The only thing that I can say was redeemable for the show were the fights. I thought the choreography for them was actually pretty stellar, and I wish that that is all the show was. I wish we didn't have half of the crappy dialogue we did. I wish we had some slightly better special effects. I wish that you had better actors in the lead, because the choreographer definitely knew what they were doing with the fights, but unfortunately, that's not what we got. We didn't get a good Star Wars series, and I say this all the time, and clearly they do as well. If Disney wants to prove us wrong, they should make better content. If they wanted to say, hey, listen, people still like Star Wars, they should actually be listening to what people want and making that, because then we'd all show up to watch it and they'd be making bank and they could prove us all wrong. But time after time, they don't do that because they are not capable of it anymore. And these individuals, like the accounts that are posting it and retweeting it and who are, of course, tagging Team YouTube, they are trying their best at this point to destroy alternate media because they're afraid. They are afraid that we have a voice, that we have platforms, and we are not afraid to use them. We have audiences who agree with us, and it's just that simple. And of course, I've covered the Acolyte quite a bit on this channel, and the, hate mob loves to say, oh, people actually like the Acolyte, hashtag renew the Acolyte, but nobody showed up to support it when you clearly could have if you liked it so much or you wanted it to succeed. As you can see, the Acolyte finale viewership is 41% below Ahsoka's finale and over 50% below Andor's finale. You also had, yes, just last week, Amanda Stenberg confirming the Acolyte is canceled and proceeded to blame a rampage of hyper-conservative bigotry and vitriol instead of simply calling a spade and saying, this show is trash and people just didn't like it. Just because you were part of something does not mean that it's good. And that's something that individuals like her can't seem to grasp the concept of. They think, oh, because I'm a part of something, that means that it's good, and anybody saying it's bad is an ist or a phobe. And this is just the playbook that she was given by Disney, and that I'm sure she'll be given to whoever she works for after Disney. This is just the playbook now. They hire people of color, and when a show fails or is heavily criticized, they use that person as a shield, saying, oh, well, you're a racist, you're a sexist, you're a bigot, you're an ist, or you're a phobe, instead of just simply accepting the fact, which is that nobody is bothered by the fact that she is a woman of color. I love seeing women as leads. I love seeing people of color as leads. She could have just simply acted better, been part of a show with a better script, and she wouldn't be heavily criticized. It's really just that plain and simple. But instead of allowing, individuals that they generally disagree with, this hate mob on social media is now trying to get people deplatformed and silenced, trying to get YouTube to take action against their channels, which of course is just disgusting and really fucking pathetic behavior. So I cross my fingers and hope that YouTube does not take these posts seriously, that YouTube allows channels like Nerdrotic Geeks and Gamers and RK Outpost to continue to simply voice their opinions on entertainment. But there is a very small chance, because there are quite a lot of bots tagging them on X, that they will look into this. I genuinely hope that that does not happen, but I will be keeping my eye on this going forward. Only time will tell, but for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.